But of course, no one can do that. Tell all they've seen and heard and felt, and all they've known and thought, wondered, and suspected too. And I was so afraid of wearying you. You thought it was a simple thing. You asked for Heathcliff's story, and I knew it, and I told it to you, same as I might have told you any current story about the doings of a neighbour here, or one of the tales of folk from the other world that we tell on dark nights. And if somewhere in the middle you'd grown weary and wanted to hear no more of it, why, that would be that. Yet the story would be there with me, just the same, though untold. But the story wasn't there until I told it to you. It wasn't a story to tell, just a jumble of memories, like pictures in my mind. Young Heathcliff tossing his dirty mane from his eyes like a wild moor pony. The two of them standing side by side, sullen and defiant, under one of Joseph's lectures. Or later, Catherine glittering and primping in a new finery. Or Heathcliff, with that set, frozen look he'd get under one of Hindley's savage beatings, so that I didn't know which was the more awful. The baffled rage in Hindley's red face, that all his wild flailing with a strap or stick could wring no cry, no plea from the boy. Or the still hatred in Heathcliff's white one, that promised I didn't know what. All that came after, it seems to me now. See, that's how it is when you tell a story. You can't help changing things, seeing the future lying curled in the past, like a half-grown chick in an egg. But it's not so. Putting myself back there, looking at him then, Heathcliff's face promised nothing, foreboded nothing, and I felt only sickness and horror looking on it, loving them both, in my own way, as I did, and powerless to stop them. In the midst of scenes like that, Mr. Lockwood, and may God grant that you never learn the truth of this yourself, there are no stories. Because there is no past and no future, only now. And afterwards, it seemed best to forget them, if I could. Until you asked about the folks at Wuthering Heights, and then I thought, maybe this is where you come in, Nelly Dean, after all. It seems so strange that all that remained of the family I grew up with at the Heights, and my own two beloved bairns as well, should be shut up together, just a short way down the road, each, as it seemed, set only on making misery for the others. And I, the one person on earth that loved them all, barred from giving any help at all. And then you arrived, a handsome gentleman of independent means, taking solitude as a cure, though for what ailment you wouldn't say. But it was soon plain enough you were hungry for excitement, and could no more bear being alone than the tabby cat here, that turns up her nose and stalks away from my offered caresses, but then comes and jumps in my lap the moment I'm settled by the fire to sew. So off you went to the Heights the first fine day, and came back singed and smarting from your reception, but interested too, and curious. And you'd seen my little Cathy, as lovely and loving a girl as any man could wish, to my mind, locked up there, like a princess in a tower, and only needing to be rescued. A good servant ought to keep her mouth shut about her employer's doings, or tell only what is already generally known in the neighbourhood. But, as you must have guessed by now, I'm a good deal less, and more, than a good servant. When I told you that story, I wanted it to do what stories in books had so often done to me, caught me up in them, until they seemed more real than the everyday world around me, and made me long to walk in them as my own sober self.